Huge matchup in the SEC. The Oklahoma Sooners, the 18th ranked Oklahoma Sooners, go on the road to face off against 14th ranked the Tennessee Volunteers. A lot of storylines in this game. Josh Heupel facing his former team once again. Really kind of a playoff elimination game. Both these teams have 2 losses. Sort of feels a little bit like the Alabama LSU game from last year, where you have two two-loss teams playing in a football game, and the loser, it just sort of seemed like their season would fall apart, but the winner hangs on to a chance that they'll make the playoffs. And I think this game is exactly that. This is the first time that Tennessee has played Oklahoma on Rocky Top since 2015. And I don't know if y'all remember that game, but that was one of the best games I ever remember watching. Oklahoma came in to Rocky Top, Sterling Shepard with Baker Mayfield. Super fun team on the road. And it went to overtime. And Oklahoma ended up just barely squeezing out a win. It was an early September game. I just remember watching it. It was the first time I ever watched Baker Mayfield, and I said, "Man, this dude's fun." And he wasn't the reason they won. It was mostly Sterling Shepard. If you remember Sterling Shepard in Oklahoma, you're a dog, and I love that you're watching this video. But this is the first time Oklahoma's played in Rocky Top since then. It should be really fun. It's a night game, and I look at this game, and one thing to me really stands out. And so I'll start with Oklahoma's offense against Tennessee's defense. I know obviously the marquee matchup, kind of like last week with Lane Kiffin's offense versus Brent Venables' defense. This week it's Brent Venables' defense traveling to face Josh Heupel's offense. That's what most people are talking about. But I'm going to start with this Tennessee defense against this Oklahoma offense. I see a Tennessee defense that has weaknesses in the secondary and an elite front seven. It's always been that. I mean, they have so many dogs on that front seven. Joshua Josephs, Caleb Herring, Jordan Ross, the youngster out of Vestavia Hills. I think that this Tennessee front seven just is so talented. They're impactful. They make winning plays. And that's how Tennessee plays defense. They played a lot of man coverage early in the season, and then they realized that, shoot, why are we playing man coverage if our two best corners are injured? So they played a lot of zone coverage, and basically they sit back, they eliminate big plays, and they give opportunities for their youngsters and their super talented guys up front to win and to make plays. I think they lead the nation in sacks, and I think they're second in the nation in tackles for loss. So that front seven is dominant. And then I look at this Oklahoma offensive line who they'll be going up against, and I don't think they're very good. That was my main critique of not only this offense, but this team going into the year. I was so high on Oklahoma. I had them in the playoffs. I had them winning a game in the playoffs. And the only thing that was holding me back was their offensive line. And honestly, that kind of remains to be true this season. They haven't been able to run the ball consistently whatsoever. John Mateer has gotten pressured a lot. The reason he hasn't gotten sacked as much is because he's John freaking Mateer, and he breaks a bunch of tackles and eludes pressures and makes throws downfield. But I just think Tennessee is going to dominate this Oklahoma front seven, or not this front seven, their offensive line, and I think that's going to be a big mismatch. I don't think Oklahoma is going to be able to run the ball. I don't think John Mateer is going to have much time. I haven't really seen very much from Ben Arbuckle offensively to make me believe Oklahoma is going to have stability. So preseason, I had Oklahoma going on the road into Rocky Top and out-talenting Tennessee and winning this football game. But I don't know how they move the ball on offense, to be completely honest. I don't see it. I think your biggest hope is to get short completions. And, I mean, Isaiah Satania and Deion Burks are great after the catch, and Tennessee's not the best open field tackling team. So if Oklahoma moves the ball, I think it's through RPOs, through screen passes, through drag routes, hitch routes that Oklahoma catches and breaks a bunch of tackles and makes plays that way. But that's just not a very consistent recipe for success. So will Tennessee's defense play well? Also, you gotta factor in the fact that this is on the road at Tennessee at night. That is, some say this is the loudest stadium in the country, and I really don't think that Oklahoma is going to be in rhythm at all. So let's look at Tennessee's offense against this Oklahoma defense. Let's look at Josh Heupel versus Brent Venables. Tennessee's been able to score the ball on a lot of teams this season pretty consistently. To me, I don't know if I trust Oklahoma's corners. I look at the Auburn game. I saw Oklahoma get kind of torched in man coverage against Auburn. Cam Coleman was open a lot of times downfield. Jackson Arnold couldn't really get it to him, but he was open a lot of times downfield. And I look at what Tennessee just did to Kentucky They mauled Kentucky. They put up 56 against the Wildcats. That's a team that played relatively well defense against Ole Miss. They held them to under 30, and they shut Texas down. And Tennessee came in there at night on the road after just playing at Bama and lit them up. I mean, that game was never even close. Joey Aguilar was on a different planet that night. I mean, if you don't believe me, just look at the tape. He made a couple elite throws. He had a huge post route throw to Chris Basil. He had a dime on the outside to Mike Matthews. Joey has been playing at a different level, and I don't trust Oklahoma's corners. I think Tennessee lights it up a little bit through the air. Can they run the ball very well? They've been pretty good this season at times running the football, not very consistent. I think Oklahoma's I think their defensive front can be good enough to slow them down, but I just think Tennessee's going to be explosive for the pass game. I do look at this Tennessee offensive line. They have a stud at right tackle, I believe, David Sanders. That dude is a monster. He eats people. But the rest of their offensive line is a little banged up, a little inexperienced. So maybe if you're an Oklahoma fan, you can trust that our Mason Thomas in this front seven just wins at the line of scrimmage and gets home to Joey and affects the game that way. I think Tennessee is going to be too much. I trust their wide receivers. I trust Joey Aguilar. He's playing awesome right now. I trust the Rocky Top crowd at home at night in November. I trust this Tennessee front seven to dominate Oklahoma's offensive line. And I've got the Tennessee Volunteers winning and staving off elimination. And this is sad. This is really, really sad, but I think Oklahoma's going to lose this game. I have not missed an Oklahoma prediction this year. I had them winning against Michigan, winning against Auburn, losing against Texas, losing against Ole Miss, and now I have them losing to Tennessee. Preseason, I thought that they would, like literally everything that has happened, I have got right preseason. I thought they would go 9-3. They would lose to Texas, Ole Miss, and Alabama and make the playoffs as an at-large team because they would have wins over a lot of really good teams. And for that to be true, they need to win this game at Tennessee. I just don't see it happening. I think the Vols are better than I thought they were going to be preseason. I think the Sooners are just slightly worse on offense than I thought they were going to be. So because of that, I've got the Sooners going down. Playoff chances, unfortunately, might end at Neyland Stadium. Give me the Volunteers to still have life in the SEC. Now, Tennessee also has to play Florida on the road. That is by no means an easy game. Florida is very talented, and I think we're going to see that with their matchup against Georgia this weekend. But if Tennessee and if Vanderbilt are both either 2-loss teams or 3-loss teams by the time they play, that could be a playoff elimination game I believe it's in Knoxville this year. So in Knoxville, Vanderbilt and Tennessee might be playing for the playoffs, which would just be electric. I would be so excited to watch that football game. But that is then, now is now. I've got Tennessee getting a big win over the Sooners, winning back-to-back against Oklahoma because they did waltz into Norman and win against the Sooners in their first SEC game. I've got them beating Oklahoma once again. So go Tennessee, go Vols this weekend against Oklahoma. Let's see who will pick to win this game. He picked Tennessee as well, so we're both riding with the Vols at night at Rocky Top. I think we're both wise with that pick. Go Tennessee.